Tonight, we're following the progress of the city's effort to help Harvey victims. Weeks ago, 13 investigators revealed the program had spent $6 million so far to help 4 families. We learned today it's now up to 10 families, but thousands are still waiting. And as we close in on the 2-year anniversary of Harvey, it's far too slow for the victims. Tonight, investigative reporter Ted Oberg shows us just what the city is asking flood victims to do to qualify for aid.
Lisa and Tom SLAGLE were at their Kingwood home when the flood came. By the time the water stopped rising, floodwater covered the countertops.
The refrigerator floated out, was pinned up against the door.
Their house, like thousands of others, was a mess.
I never thought that we would be out of our house for 18 months.
Through a combination of flood insurance and savings, the SLAGLEs rebuilt their home and kept great notes every step of the way.
This is from our contractor.
When they heard a city program had federal dollars that could reimburse families like theirs for damage,
we had to discuss whether we were even going to attempt to do that because of the frustration that usually comes with.
But they did apply, starting in February with an online intake survey. A month later,
then we had to do the online Harvey recovery summary.
They waited more than a month for that to be approved, and then
next step was doing an application.
Then an in-person interview at a city resource center.
They went through and they made copies of everything that they needed that was actually put on the hard copy application.
But that wasn't enough to find out if they were qualified.
We were told, you will be hearing from the city within 4 to 6 weeks. They need to come do a walkthrough of your home, and they're going to want to see receipts.
But you'd just given them receipts.
I just gave them a lot of documentation.
Federal rules to qualify for this cash change with every national disaster. For Harvey, the city says federal rules were just finalized in February, and the city's continuing to improve the program as it's implemented to make it easier for victims. But at least so far, victims we hear from aren't saying it's easy. The 4 to 6 week wait for a home inspection turned out to be 12 weeks. It's the exact back and forth frustration the SLAGLEs were nervous about before they applied. The same we're hearing about from dozens of applicants waiting for answers, and part of the slow process Mayor Turner admits needs to change now.
We have to move with the greatest degree of urgency, and I'm not going to be satisfied until we see those numbers really going up.
But it isn't happening yet. And at this point, the SLAGLEs, they're waiting again.
The novelty of that has long worn off, I promise you.
I know for a fact there are neighbors of ours that would not apply for this because they did not want to have to go through the bureaucracy of it. And they need help.
Across our city, we've heard from so many of you, and we want you to know you're not alone if you're stuck in this process. At our website right now, you can see some of the responses from the 230 families who've written us saying they're stuck just like the SLAGLEs. By the way, a month and 1 day ago, we asked the city to show us the bills from the companies that are running these programs so we can see how they're spending your money. In all that time, they haven't turned over a single one. Ted Oberg, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.